Hi travelers, it's Tara here. Today is January 16th, 2017, and I'm coming to you today with a general reading for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Please keep in mind that this is a general reading and the messages will not resonate with everyone. I ask that you please check back to your Sun and Moon rising signs, your Moon and rising signs as the videos are posted. Also, please be aware that I did post the January 2016 readings up. They are in the December 2016 playlist. I posted those back in November because I'm doing a lot of extra work behind the scenes. So you can go back and take a look at your December monthly Sun, Moon, or Rising. Also view a few of the open readings, and then in conjunction with this one may give you a bit of information. I do readings 6 days a week. My turnaround time is between 48 to 72 hours. If you think you might be interested in getting a reading from me, then all you have to do is click on one of the banners that's going to appear there in the right-hand corner of the video. That'll take you directly over to the website. I do ask that you read the important information on booking first before you make your payment and book your reading, because that will explain a lot of things to you. Now, let's see, I want to talk to you about a couple of the transits. We know that Uranus went direct on the 29th of December in the sign of Aries, and so this is really all about sudden changes in terms of how you appear to people or the surface of things. This is things around you and maybe even yourself that may be changing quite suddenly and unexpectedly. Mercury went direct on January 9th. However, we do have what is known as the direct shadow phase that occurs. So that's 2 weeks after Mercury goes direct. There can still be some wonky things going on. So Mercury rules travel, communications, sales, negotiations, things like that. Weather, as does Uranus, and that's why we're seeing all this crazy weather going on. You got those two acting up together. So there could be delays. Sometimes your equipment, your cell phones and things are not acting right. You may be losing messages during a Mercury retrograde. It is anytime there's a retrograde of any planet, it's a time to review, reassess, rework, reevaluate anything. It's not really time, particularly Mercury, any time to start anything new. We do know that we can't stop living life, and sometimes we have to do things when we have to do things, in which case under a Mercury retrograde you want to read all of the terms and conditions, you want to read all of the fine print, you want to know exactly what it is. So do your research, okay? Because Mercury is a trickster. We are also coming up on the new moon in Aquarius on the 28th of January, the same day that we come out of the Mercury direct shadow phase. Okay, so this is all of a sudden, some of you may feel a huge lifting and like things are going to move forward. Great. New moons are great beginnings. So hopefully, if you've been following the retrograde, Mercury retrograde rules, you've been doing the reassessing, the reviewing, and the reworking. We will also be coming up on our first eclipse of 2017 in February on the 26th. So you want to, if possible, try not to make any sudden moves or big major decisions 3 days before and 3 days after. Because a lot of times you make decisions around an eclipse, they are final. You don't get a second chance to do them over again. And if you do, it may not come about for 3 to 6 months. Okay, but eclipses hide things. So you're not going to have all of the information that you're going to need in order to figure out where it is you're going to go. That being said, I have the, again, these messages are not going to resonate. It is a general reading. Take what you can and disregard what you cannot. I have the Radiant White with me, the La Vida Sibila, the Sibila Indovina, and the Angel Answer cards. I would like to welcome my new subscribers, and for my old subscribers, I would like to thank you for sticking around into 2017. I have got some great stuff that I'm going to be bringing you here within the next month or so. So please try to stick around. For those of you who are new and do not understand the way the tarot is, or don't know anything about the tarot is broken up into 2 groups. We have what are known as the major arcana cards. These are cards like Judgment, the Sun, the Moon, the Star, the Devil, the Strength card, the Hermit. Those deal with life lessons and spiritual lessons. And then you have what are known as the pip cards. Those are your numbered cards. They start at the aces and they go up to the number 10. They also include what are known as the court cards. These are your pages, knights, kings, and queens, okay? And those represent the mundane, what happens on the physical plane, all right? You can't have one without the other. Well, there's your first card, the Four of Wands. Now, we are also 3 months into our Jupiter in Libra cycle. Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is all about your intellectual, spiritual, philosophical beliefs and ideas. It rules people and places at a distance, foreigners. This may not necessarily be someone who lives in another country, but it could be someone who lives in a different zip code or state, part of the country from you. It is about expansion. It is about travel. Jupiter comes in to bring you new opportunities to expand upon these different beliefs and ideas. But what happens as well, Libra represents the 7th house of marriage and partnership. Partnerships can be business partnerships. The kind of, maybe it's a marriage for that is a business. You know, it just depends. But Libra is also very superficial. It wants to maintain the balance, and it doesn't like to look at things too deeply. It only wants to maintain the balance where there's peace, equality, and harmony. So when Jupiter comes in to offer you new opportunities, new ways of doing things, doing new things, expanding your outlook. It is very expansive energy. So what can happen during a Jupiter in Libra cycle is that a third party can come into your relationship. A situation can also rear its ugly head and become like the elephant in the room. It will bring about typically more than one relationship at a time, okay, be it good or be it bad. But the reason why this is occurring now is because there's a change and a balance and a shift that's trying to occur. So that being said, the 7th house is about, even though it rules marriages and relationships and partnerships, okay, it is the superficial, the outside, the way things look from the outside. It's not what's going on behind closed doors, okay? The natal wheel is broken into two sections. We have from the 12th house over to the 6th house is everything that happens below, behind closed doors, the surface or subconscious. And everything from the 7th house over to the 11th house is all the public sphere, okay? So the real work of relationships is actually done in the 8th house. This is if we're going to, how often are we going to have sex? Are we going to get a new house and get a new mortgage? Are we going to refinance? We need a new car. We need to divide up how the bills are going to be paid. That's where the real work is done. So what can happen when Jupiter steps into Libra is that people and things can occur, and all of a sudden that relationship turns into an open enemy, an adversarial relationship, a rival, okay? And this can be in any type of partnership that you have. So therefore, things are now public. You find out that the couple down the street that's been looking so perfect, they've had the great house, the 2.5 kids, they've been taking vacations, they look physically great. Then all of a sudden you find out they're divorcing because somebody's got an internet sex addiction, or somebody's been doing drugs, or somebody, has been gambling away all of the money. So this is how the Jupiter in Libra plays out. But what happens with Jupiter in Libra, and I think starting in perhaps 2018, we're going to see a record number of divorces and a record number of new marriages. That's because as people get divorced and they split up, even if this is a business partnership, say for instance, you've been in business with someone for 20 years. Well, that's like a marriage. And all of a sudden you and your partner in business don't see eye to eye. So now you got to go out and find a new partner. Well, the Jupiter in Libra cycle is going to free up people to come into your cycle so that you can build a new partnership. But it's going to be one that is based on a more fair and equitable type of energy. Okay? Now, that being said, let's go ahead and lay the 9 cards. We start, the card that presented itself as the Four of Wands, and the Four of Wands is the marriage card or the commitment card or the shacking up card, but it is about stable foundations. It can also be about having some type of private celebration. This could be, we just had the holidays, so maybe this is, you got together with the family and everybody congregated in one place and you all celebrated the holidays, okay? That's what the Four of Wands is all about on the surface. But it is about having stable and firm foundations. Three of Wands. The Fool card. The Lovers. Now, here we see a choice. And we have 1, 3. The Page of Wands. Remember I was talking about the pip cards. This is a major arcana card. So this is a life lesson or spiritual lesson coming in. We have 2 of those cards. We have the Fool and the Lovers. And then we have the Page of Wands. And there's a lot of fire so far in this. 2 air cards and 3 fire cards. There's the Devil. Now, we've been having Saturn and Sagittarius. And Saturn is all about, let me get the rest of the cards down. 7 of Swords. The Ace of Swords. The 6 of Pentacles. Well, with the King of Wands. Now, some of you, who am I reading for? Taurus? Some of you Taurians, Sun, Moon, and Rising, may be dealing with an air sign or an earth sign or a fire sign. Okay? Could be any sign, really. This is the overall energy, so this could also represent you. I have 3 major arcanas in the spread. So these cards take more weight than the pip cards, which are the 4 of Wands, 3 of Wands, Page of Wands, 7 of Swords, Ace of Swords, 6 of Coins. Okay? This is Uranus. I was just talking to you about Uranus. This is Gemini. It is ruled by Mercury. I was just talking to you about that. Now here we have Saturn. And Saturn has been in the sign of Sagittarius now for over a year. And as I was just explaining to you about Sagittarius ruling intellectual, philosophical, religious beliefs, higher education, travel, expansion of global horizons. Well, Saturn is a stuck kind of stable energy. He's the taskmaster. He teaches lessons. He is the Lord of time and the father of karma. Okay, he's the Lord of karma and the father of time. That's what I'm trying to say. Karma is only created through choices that you make. Okay, you make the right choice, okay, then you reap the rewards. Make the wrong choice, you got to suffer through the consequences. We can see that there's been a choice here, okay? We can see that. Now, the Devil rules the material plane. In other words, he's all about sex, money, drugs, rock and roll, houses, okay, cars. He rules the material plane. But he can also speak to being in some type of karmic situation with someone where you feel you can't get away from the individual. A very negative situation. He can also be about self-sabotaging behaviors. Maybe you have addictions. Maybe you are spend a lot of your money all the time and you don't have enough money to cover your expenses from, month to month or what have you. He rules, he speaks about hidden things below the surface, things that make you feel that you're tied and weighted down and you can't get away. All right? But it's choices. Why? Because he rules karma. In the center, I have the Page of Wands. This is a young fire sign, would be an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius. But I feel what this card is telling me is that it's really dealing with the Saturn and Sagittarius energy. And perhaps for a lot of you, you're just now starting to feel some of those restrictions. Perhaps for some of you, you have a choice about how you're going to deal with maybe you already have those restrictions in place because there is no timing in the tarot. So for some of you, this energy could have started back in December. We do have the celebration card here. But it could also be playing out into February. The way the cards are read are past, present, future, and the interplay of the cards. So our focus is this Page of Wands. Now, the Page of Wands, pages bring news, okay? And they bring messages. They are what you need in order to start on a new journey. I have seen the Page of Wands show up as a new spiritual journey, someone who is going off to search for something new in their life, okay? That's going to bring about the type of spiritual growth and evolution that they need. Now, I have 4 of Wands, 3 of Wands, and then the Fool card. I have the Three of Wands, the Lovers, and the Seven of Swords. I was just explaining to you how Jupiter and Libra can bring about multiple relationships. And I feel that this is also what I'm looking at. And I feel that in one respect, what the cards are saying is that we started out with a situation in which we had a stable foundation, a happy home, a good marriage. But we can see that someone is making other plans here. We don't know if their ships have gone out to sea or if they're waiting for them to come in. Now, this could simply be that this is a new work endeavor. Maybe you have wanted to, just on the mundane level, you've been wanting to do some renovation to your house. Maybe this is what this card is speaking about. We do see the Fool card come in, Uranus. Now, Uranus is about sudden changes, okay? What this Three of Wands says to me with the Fool card is that this is a change that you've been contemplating, and maybe you haven't really done anything, because fours can speak to stuck energy, a static, stable situation. We do have this Devil card here, and maybe you've been wanting to do something, okay? And you've been thinking about it for a long, long time, and then suddenly now you have the new energy to do so. Now, the warning with the Fool card is not to be naive and foolish. In other words, be careful where you step. Make sure that your eyes are wide open, because you could be stepping off into an abyss. Remember, it's about choices. And I see here that something has come along. There was a choice. Now, the Lover's card, we are looking at, in one respect, some type of marriage or committed relationship. Yeah? And this is about a third party coming in and someone having a choice or two options. You see, we are always in choice whenever we decide to stay in any type of partnership, okay? We make a choice to consciously either stay there. We make a choice to consciously either do the right thing or do the wrong thing, right? But this is about somebody having two options and two choices. We can also see, here's the Seven of Swords. Now, it is traditionally interpreted as lying, deceit, deception. Sometimes this is about stalking. This could be about someone, theft of ideas, intellectual properties, things of that nature. There's an old 13th century interpretation of a house move. Now, I never see that in this card, but I'm going to throw that out there anyway. And the reason why I say that is because we do have this home card here, and we do have somebody looking. So maybe this is about someone who's thinking about moving away wherever for whatever reason. They haven't said anything to anybody about it yet. They're not even sure. And the reason why I say they're not sure is we have two swords stuck in the ground. So again, the message comes through that there's a choice. He's got two wands behind him. Do I stay or do I go? Okay. Now, the Page of Wands in the center lets me know that some kind of news has come in. And I think this is what the Devil is speaking about. It is speaking about either you feeling, or maybe the circumstances are such that you are not sure what to do. It might be out of fear, anxiety, worry, doubt, or shame. This could be someone saying to you, well, you know, I'm going to go ahead and do what I want to do, and ain't nothing you can do about it, because ain't nobody going to have you. Ain't nobody else going to have you, or you don't have enough money to take care of yourself because I've been taking care of everything. It could be any number of things. It could also be about negative self-talk and self-sabotage, okay? In other words, believing those things that people are telling you. Because the Fool is open to new ideas, you see? And we do see, what I'm looking at here, the Four of Wands, the Devil with the Seven of Swords. I feel in one respect that this is about someone who has been continually cheating and lying in a relationship, even if it's a business partnership. Okay, someone who's been obfuscating things, who's been hiding things, who has had some measure of control, because that's also what the devil is about. It is about control, but also self-control. Someone not being able to handle, to maintain their self-control. Why do I say that? Because I have this fire energy with this Uranus energy here. New opportunities coming in. New opportunities to do things that they know they shouldn't be doing. Okay? Now, for some of you, the message that if you've been thinking or suspecting or believing that someone has been doing things that they shouldn't be doing, that they have been lying, that they have been deceptive, that they have been cheating in whatever manner, this is very true. There's the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is about clarity. It is about rationalizations. It is about communications. It is about finally being able to, in a sense, see the light. Sometimes I have seen this card speak to a marriage. We have the ring, or what the crown that looks like a ring on top of the sword. But this is about being able to cut through the damn fog. Okay? Why? Because we have been in a space of deliriousness. This card is about being a baby or being naive sometimes. And now we see the light, so to speak. And the reason why I say that is because I have the Six of Pentacles. Now, this is the card of financial flow, charity, of giving back, sharing, giving and taking. And there's the scales there. And the scales are asking you to take a look at what you are giving and what you are receiving. Is it in equal proportion? And are you taking too much and not giving back enough? Or are you giving more and not it's not being reciprocated? But there's three people in this card, and we see that one person is getting something and the other person is getting nothing. Maybe you yourself are in a position where you're having to devote all of your time and energy, because that's what the coins represent. They not only represent finances, but they represent the actual doing of the work. So maybe this is you in the center, and maybe you have been having to devote all of your time and energy to one person or one project or one thing, and your other relationship is suffering. But I've also seen this card show up as the player card. Okay? And again, there's this thing of, I want you to look here. The central figure in the center with two people chained at the base. A central figure in the center with two people kneeling at the base. A central figure in the center with a mountain. And mountains represent obstacles and slow energy. Okay? The woman is looking up at the angel because she is trying to get in touch with her more spiritual side or spiritual nature. The man is more in touch with his desire nature. This lets me know that there's a third party or some serious, serious issue that has come between two people. This is what Libra in Jupiter in Libra does. It brings all types of relationships and partnerships up for review. Here, I think somebody thinks, well, I'm going to get a new opportunity. I'm going to make the choice that I want to make. I have a choice of whether or not I want to go this way or go that way. Why? Because it's not fair and equitable. Okay? But this can also be about naively not taking a look at someone who's doing something that they're not being fair and equitable. And naively believing or feeling or thinking that it's all going to come right. And the reason why I say naively thinking is we have this energy. Now, the devil can sometimes, Capricorn, that Saturn energy can be a not yet moment. In other words, you are ready to make your move, but you can't leave just yet. Why? Because there's more work that needs to be done. Maybe you need to get more finances. Maybe you need to find yourself a decent place to live. Maybe you've been planning this all along and nobody knows that you're getting ready to, tuck tail and run. Okay? This King of Wands energy is about, he represents someone, again, who's going to be a Leo, an Aries, or a Sagittarius, a fire sign, If it is not a fire sign individual, then this is someone who is an entrepreneur. And maybe what's happening in the relationship is the person has a lot of pie in the sky ideas, but nothing is coming to fruition. They're not really doing what they need to be doing in order to make these things come into fruition. But it can also be someone who has lots of ideas, who's always on the move, but has other people doing the work for him. And if it is not speaking about someone that you are dealing with, then this is about you, yourself, figuring out what it is you need to do and having the determination and the willpower to do it. That's what the wands represent. Willpower and determination. Okay, your fight 'em, go get 'em spirit. Swords represent thoughts, ideas, beliefs, perceptions, communications, concepts. Okay. The coins represent finances, but also the actual doing of something. All right. Now, I want to take a look at and I think this page is asking you to take a look at what's holding you back, or who is holding you back. You see, because the situation can't go on the way that it is. And we see that somebody's already, maybe you've gotten the message, either that it's time for you to leave, you've been making your plans and now you're fixing to tell somebody, you know now that you're supposed to be leaving, or maybe this is a message that somebody else is getting ready to leave. Maybe they've come and they've told you, I don't want to be with you anymore, or I don't want to be in business with you anymore. I've gotten another offer. Sometimes these pages can be an offer coming in. And what's most interesting to me is that there are no cups in this. So it's a rather dispassionate kind of a thing. There are no cups here. None. Now, if you are single, sometimes I will see this card show up when you're single, you're not in a committed relationship, that this is somebody new who has come on the scene, but they weren't trustworthy. And if they showed up during the Mercury retrograde, this is why. It was never serious to begin with. It was a test. And maybe what the person, they told you exactly what you wanted to hear in order to have sex with you. Because sometimes this is what this card is just really all about. Base sexual desires. And by base, I don't mean something that's like degrading, although that could be. It's devil energy. But just means just the underlying, it is what it is. It was just sex. And perhaps you, naively, were looking at it in a different manner. And you come to find out that the person was a liar and a player. And that you are indeed looking for somebody new. Sometimes I see this as being somebody new coming into the picture. And this says that, you know, there may be somebody new coming in. But again, you want to look at the balance. What is it that you want? And if you don't know what you want, how the hell you expect anybody else to know what you want? And if you can't clearly and articulately state your desires without having any shame or guilt about what it is that you seek, and being able to stand firm in what it is that you know you need and that you want, that's what is going to, you know, shore you up, you know, then how do you expect anybody else to know that? This speaks to the choice, having the opportunity to make a choice about giving and receiving, the balance of it. You know, but if your eyes aren't open to things, you don't get that. Now, this row could simply be speaking about wanting to move house and not being able to do it right now because the timing is not right. And I have 2 6s here. Now, 2 6s speak to either justifiable faith in a partner, okay? But is that faith really justifiable here? Or are you being blinded to things? Let me see what the other meaning of the 2 6s speak to? One second, because there's a secondary meaning as well. I think the first one that I gave you was justifiable faith in a partner. One second, I want to make sure that's correct. And then I want to look at something. The 7 of Swords showing up next to the Lovers. All right. 2 6s in a spread. Yeah. Tells of justifiable faith and trust in your partner. Now let me look at something here. I want to see, because see, this could be about somebody telling lies. This could even be about gossip or slander. Somebody talking bad about you behind your back, or telling all of your secrets. Maybe you've had a secret affair with somebody and somebody's out now, they're telling everybody all about what's happening in your, and it's causing problems for you. Remember I just said, you know, is it really about, I don't see anything else that it's telling me about. Now, let me go and look at the other meaning of the 6s, the 2 6s, because that's what we do in numerology. When you read the tarot, there's so many different levels that you can, that the cards speak to you on. Now, 2 6s can speak to, I want you to pay close attention, issues surrounding equality may affect the relationship. The Lovers and the Pentacles. The 6 of Pentacles. All right. Let me take a quick look here at what this Devil is trying to tell me. And it really reads like this is a situation, because it's karma, that you either continually find yourself in terms of your relationships, getting with somebody, trying to build up something real quick with them, and then they end up cheating on you, or they're abusive, or they, you know, gamble away their money or your money, or they drink, or they've got drug problems. But it reads like it's a situation that, and if this is a marriage, that it's something that has occurred several times, many times. The Devil. Wow. Well, this is an interesting trio. I have Fortuna. This is Jupiter. Remember, I was just talking about Jupiter, how he brings in multiple relationships and multiple opportunities. This is someone, through arrogance and vanity, okay, feels that they can do whatever they want to do to satisfy their desires or their wants and their needs. That's what that card says, the Devil. He represents the material plane. And someone who's not going to change. They're constrained. They are locked down. It's not going to change, okay? In which case, you need to be figuring out what you're going to do about that. Because it ain't going to change if you don't try to change it. And I always say, if you don't like a situation, you change it. Now, you may not have formulated the plan yet, but this Ace says you can do that. You can either choose to keep doing it the same way or choose to do it a different way. If you keep doing it the same way, you're going to get the same result. 7 of Swords. To me, that's the other 3 of Wands in the Sibila deck. What I have is the Yardrow. This is theft. Now, we can see somebody sneaking off with something. See that? He's stealing something. The thing about this guy is he is bold enough to do it in broad daylight. That's what he's stealing in broad daylight. Okay, so this is about somebody who's able to get away with whatever they want to get away, or they are pushing the boundaries to see what they can get away with. Okay. Not only theft of goods and services. So this is not only somebody who may have stolen money from you, or stolen a car from you, or gotten into your bank account, your credit cards, but this is also somebody who has stolen your time. They have stolen your devotion. They have stolen your level of trust, security, your thoughts, okay? He speaks to a negative change. Now, here we have the Speranza. I'm going to look at those two swords. God, you know, if I can just figure out what it is I need to do to, you know, maybe I should do this or maybe I should do that. And maybe the situation will change. The hope, Speranza. But this is also speaks to the card. It speaks to fear and waiting. Okay? I'm just not going to do anything. That's what the two swords says. I'm at a standstill. I don't know what to do. Maybe if I don't do anything, the situation will go away. But you see, this person is already making plans. They are already making plans. This is the contract, the negotiator. He makes deals and contracts, and he's already looking forward. See, look, he's already looking ahead. I want to take a look at what this Six of Pentacles is trying to tell me. Then I'm going to pull one angel answer card. You know, whether same-sex or heterosexual. And this could be if you're in a relationship where somebody's continually jacking you over, well, guess what? You're still a common denominator in that. So the question becomes, are you going to continue to let them do that, or are you going to keep it moving? Easier said than done sometimes. I understand that. But, you know, if there are no boundaries, okay, you got to institute some. Because the situation's not going to change, and that's really what I'm getting. The Vecchia Signora. Now, she speaks to changes, but she also speaks to someone who gives advice. Okay? The Il Nemico, the rival, the enemy, concealed hate and anger. This is about a third party coming in, or, like I said, if it's not a third party, this is about something coming to the surface, and now it's all public and it's open. The Sospiri. This is called the longing, the sighing, the waiting, okay? But what this card is telling me is that that shit's been a long time in coming, okay? See, she's waiting. She's been waiting on him, all right? Now, there's the ship. She waiting for that ship to come in, or is she watching that ship go out? All right, ask yourself a question. And if this spread did not answer that question for you, I don't know how that's going to turn out. Again, that requires a personal reading. This is just general. For some people, I may be telling their life story. For others of you, it may be parts of it. Some of you, it may not resonate at all. You know, maybe there was something in there that you got something out. Maybe it's about the boundaries. Maybe it's about learning to value yourself and what you have. Maybe it's about taking a look at something that you need to do for yourself to move away from whatever it is that you feel is holding you back. So ask a question for yourself, and maybe the angel answer cards will answer it if nothing was addressed in that particular spread for you. And maybe the angel answer cards will give you a little bit of solace or advice. Hell, maybe it'll answer the question for you. All right, let me put one more rifle on this. And I want to thank you for your patience in waiting for these videos to come out. I've been really busy. I haven't been sleeping well either. I haven't been feeling too good. I think I've just been overworking. All right, here we go. One card. Are we ready? Wait. Wait. And if this is part of this, you got that Devil card. You know, it's telling you that you need to figure out what you need to do. That King of Wands. Figure it out. Put your plans in action. All right, that's what I have for you, Taurus. Sun, Moon, and Rising. And until next time, Namaste.